We're going to find the extremas of g. This is your function g up here. Alright, I want to find the extremas of g. Now, g is the integral of f of t. This is f of t. And what we talked about here on letter B is that when we derive g, we derive f. Basically, the derivative of g equals f. So if the derivative of g equals f, if I want my extremas, isn't that where I want to know where my derivative of g equals 0 or does not exist? So look at your graph. Okay, this equals 0 is what I'm looking for, or does not exist. So basically, if this equals this, aren't I looking for when f of x equals 0 or does not exist? Aren't these basically the same thing? So look at your graph. Where does the graph, even though this is f of x, we're talking about f of t here, but just use the graph in general for now. When you plug, where does it equal 0? Where it equals 0 here, here, and here. Now we can't know about the type of extremas here, or even if they are, because yes, they equal 0, but we don't know the actual slopes, or we don't know enough information because we don't have both sides of these points. So the only one we can tell is at 4. So your extrema could be when x equals 4. Now, what type of extrema would it be? Because it equals 0 here, f of x equals 0. What type? Well, look at this. It goes from negative values to positive values. So since it goes from negative to positive values, doesn't that mean it's going like this? Aren't my slopes going from negative slopes to positive slopes? So wouldn't that mean it's a min? So my extrema is at 4. Now could I actually find that coordinate? Yeah. If I want to find that coordinate, it'd be 4 comma, how do you find that? Well, I need to find g of 4. Correct? Didn't we do g of numbers right here? So I'm going to basically take the integral from 0 to 4 of f of t dt. So what's the area from here to 4? Well, what's negative 4 plus negative 4? It's negative 8. This is where it's at, and it's a minimum. This is the actual coordinate of the minimum. So this is your extrema. This is where it's at. This is the extrema. Now, in D here, I'm going to sketch the graph of G. This is f of t. I'm going to sketch G. Now, all I do is, don't I know a whole bunch of coordinates already for G? G of 0, G of 2, G of 8, and G of 4 now? Can I plot all those points? Yeah. So G of 0 is 0. That's easy. G of 2 is negative 4. So at 2, we're at negative 4. G of 4 is down here. That's negative 8. So G of 4, that's negative 8. G of 8 is 4. So G of 8 is 4. Now, are there any other key points we could find? Yeah, couldn't this 5 and 7 be kind of useful? They're kind of nice points. So if I wanted to sit here and calculate G of 5 and G of 7, so to get G of 5, well, to get G of 5, isn't it from here to here, my area is negative 8? Isn't it to 5, wouldn't there be negative 8 plus 2, which would be negative 6? Negative 8 plus 2 would be negative 6. So at 5, your answer is actually going to be negative 6. But if I want G of 7, well, isn't this G of 8 plus, what's 2 plus 8? 10. So isn't this negative 8 plus 10, wouldn't that be positive 2? So at 7, I'd be at positive 2. Hopefully you're seeing the idea. If I wanted 6, what would 6 be? Well, what's the area? This is negative 8, and isn't this 4 plus 2 is 6? So negative 8 plus 6 is positive 2. Wait, no, it's negative 2. So at 6, you'd be at negative 2. Can you kind of see a graph here? Do your best guess of a graph. Right, we're not going to get it exact. We could find more points. I mean, could I find 3? Yeah, I could find 3. I could find this. Let's just make a sketch. This looks like about a straight line. and this looks like it kind of curves a little bit. I'm not going to have a perfect graph. Are we okay with the general idea of what it looks like? Something has a little bit of, could have some more straight angles that are turning and stuff, but it's something of this sort. We could find more coordinates, but that's a good example of G. We just use these coordinates one by one. Now, look at this graph. This is G, right? Is 4, -8 an extrema, like we said? Yeah. Just like we said, it is an extrema. It verifies this, which is good.